A new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
And good day, everybody. What's up? This is the Padres Talking for Ours pregame show. Ben Fadden, your host. Today, April 9th, 2022, 3 p.m. Pacific time. We got first pitch at 5, a little after 5 p.m. Pacific time. Padres against the Diamondbacks, third game of the season. Both teams are 1-1. How's everyone doing today? In the chat, let me know. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, whether you're watching live or on replay before this game starts. Again, this is the pregame show. Padres, Diamondbacks, last night. What a game last night. Sean Manaea, 7 no-hit innings. I understand why they take him out, because of how early in the season it is. So that's definitely understandable. Tim Hill doesn't like no-hitters, I guess. 2 straight nights in a row he gives up the hit. But we got Joe Musgrove on the mound tonight. Just touching on last night a little bit real quickly. Just a great overall night. I think the at-bats were better from the night before. Obviously, seeing Taylor Rogers out there in the ninth gave me a whole lot more confidence than seeing Robert Suarez walk 2 guys and hit a batter, and then Stammen come in and have a wild pitch, have it go to the backstop, and then give up the home run to Seth Beer, who's in the lineup again today. So it was definitely a more confident building night last night, if you will. After the Padres got their first win of the year. Bob Melvin's first win in a Padre uniform as the manager in the regular season. C.J. Abrams made a couple really good plays defensively. Did not get a hit in his debut, but he is in the lineup again today. And that's where we'll start with the pregame show. Valley Sports San Diego, 97.3 The Fan is where you can tune into this game. 5:10 Pacific time, first pitch. Diamondbacks tied for third place in the NL West, half game back. Padres are also tied third place in the NL West, half game back behind first. Just a quick update real quick that just came out from Kevin Acee. Fernando Tatis Jr. will swing a bat in 3 weeks, or about 3 weeks. He feels like he's ahead of schedule, and I guess he told Acee that he knows his body. And so that's the latest update. It feels like, him being ahead of schedule is a good thing, but at the same time, I still do have that, thought in the back of my mind that, hey, don't rush this, right? You don't want him to rush it and then, not feel good with that wrist. And then he also didn't have the surgery for the shoulder, and then that also increases injury in the shoulder. So you'd have multiple areas there if you rushed it back and he wasn't ready that could come a little problematic. And you don't want him to come back and then get hurt and then go right back on the IL. That doesn't help anyone. Just getting some people in here. Superman's brother says, last night was such a sick game. I'm optimistic about the season, especially if our pitching can remain elite against real lineups. Yeah, against real, and that's the thing. Can it remain elite against real lineups? Because this Diamondbacks lineup is not a real lineup, right? The Giants lineup is more of a real lineup. The Braves lineup is definitely a real lineup that they'll face in the first series at home for the Padres at Petco Park this year, starting next Thursday. So that's probably their first measuring stick if their pitching can remain elite against those real lineups. But yeah, I think the Padres will be pretty fine if they, have their starting pitchers not giving up a hit all season, Before we get a little more into this pregame here, I set up a voicemail for the show that I'm excited about, and hopefully people can participate in that. If you want your voice heard, you can see in the ticker down below the number. Call 619-335-5770. Again, 619-335-5770. Leave a voicemail to that number to express any Padres thoughts that you have. Are you pissed off after a loss? That probably would have worked good after opening day. Are you happy after last night's win? Are you going to be happy or sad after tonight? If someone throws a no-hitter, definitely call in, give your thoughts then. And leave a voicemail, and I'll feature those thoughts on the next episode. So whenever you call in, leave that message. The next episode, I'll air those thoughts that you have. If it's if it's a series recap or something like that, or like a series preview, or if it's because I'm going to try to do interviews like once a week with someone, so maybe I won't do it then, but the next episode where it's me, I'll definitely go over every voicemail, if it's obviously, good to, put on the show. So 619-335-5770. If you watch Ben and Woods, listen, their last show, they had some voicemails after opening day, and they had some pretty good ones. So I'm opening up the voicemail, just starting that. So feel free, give your thoughts. I love communicating with the community. That's a big part of why I'm doing this, just communicate with Padres fans, have some fun, exchange thoughts. So I'm excited about that. Now, just get into this pitching matchup here. Joe Musgrove for the Padres against Zach Davies. Obviously, Zach Davies, a former Padre. Joe Musgrove, 1 year ago today, he had the no-hitter, which was the first in the San Diego Padres' franchise history. And so I figured, why not? Let's celebrate that a little bit today by reliving that moment. Here we go.
Start number 2 in a Padres uniform for Joe Musgrove. On the ground to second base to Jake Cronenworth. 1 down to the first inning. And that's in there for strike 3. First strikeout tonight for Joe Musgrove. 2 down. And a swing and a miss. Musgrove with back-to-back Ks in the first. That's in there for strike 3. Buckled it right there. 4th strikeout for Musgrove.
Watch the break on this. That's the curveball right there. The old number 2.
That's a swing and a miss, and he comes back to strike out Eli White.
That slider was
Got
working.
it working tonight.
Make it 9. Under the first, Profire's got it to take himself to the bag. 2 down to the 7th. That is strike 3. He's not allowed to hit through 7. On the ground to short, Ha-Sung Kim. 1 down. On the ground to first base. Profire's got it. He'll flip to Musgrove. 2 down in the 8th inning. That is line to right, and it's caught by Myers.
I was concerned about that.
Joe Musgrove is not allowed to hit through the first 8. Here we go. On to the bottom of the 9th inning. Dahl lines one. Cut!
That's when I knew it was going to happen, after that lineup.
Grounder down the first baseline. He'll tag him himself. 2 down. 1 out away. Ground ball to shortstop. Kimball down to first. The San Diego Padres get their first no-hitter in the history of the franchise. It belongs to San Diego's own Joe Musgrove, sending the Friar faithful into a frenzy.
I'll tell you what, Donnie, if it took this long, it's been well worth it. Couldn't happen to a better kid. Homegrown. Java Jones. No.
So there you go. That was an amazing moment. Joe Musgrove, no-hitter a year ago today. That's a moment that'll definitely be in our lives, our Padres memories, for the rest of our lives. So feel free to leave a voicemail. Share your voice, your thoughts of where you were during that moment, what you were thinking. Did you think that Musgrove was going to be able to do it? For me, after Cronenworth caught that line drive in the 9th, that's when I felt like, holy cow, this is happening. It's over. It's going to happen. No hitter is going to happen. The Myers also one in the 8th, the line drive to Myers and Wright. That was also one where I was like, oh man, this is actually now it's kind of going there. Like, okay, this is really for real. Because there's always, during no-hitters, there's always that one play where it saves the pitcher, and allows him to get that no-hitter. And he had a couple that game. Just getting through to some of these comments here real quick. Yeah, Gil says CJ is starting again. Yep, we'll get to that. He is in the lineup. We'll get to the lineups just like usual. How about Profar's slide? I'll also show that video as well. That's kind of one of my what to watch fors today. Just seeing if there's anything that carries over, with Profar and David Peralta there. Tupac 13, what's up? Yeah, Superman's brother says, I'll remember that night for the rest of my life. I was in my girlfriend's kitchen making tacos and couldn't move the whole night once I realized what was happening. Yeah, I have a similar thing. I mean, I wasn't cooking, but I was on the couch keeping score. And once I really realized it, while I was keeping score, I didn't move from that same spot in the couch, same seating position, stayed there the whole time. Didn't get up to go to the bathroom, didn't do anything. So, yeah, I was definitely like you, definitely superstitious with that, yeah. And it couldn't happen to a better guy, too. Homegrown, San Diego. Yeah, that was an amazing, amazing moment. All right, so as for this year for Joe, 7.15 ERA in spring training, not too worried about that. Probably working through things. Again, Arizona isn't the same as, inside Arizona in terms of the dome that they have to play in. I don't know if it's going to be open tonight, but spring training air is different from when you go back to your regular stadium. So I don't know how much I should really put into that. It's spring training. He's coming off of a regular season, which matters more obviously, where he had his best season yet, and so you hope that he continues to build on that. I did want to mention for any fans heading out to Petco this summer, August 18th against the Nationals, he has a bobblehead day commemorating his no-hitter a year ago today. So if anyone wants that, I think August 18th, I believe, is the date of when that no-hitter, or excuse me, when the no-hitter bobblehead comes out. And as for Zach Davies, he was picked up by the Diamondbacks, had a bad year last year, 5.78 earned run average. He doesn't blow anyone away like we saw when he was with the Padres, doesn't blow anyone away with his velocity, but he hits his spots, right? He's someone that, with the changeup, again, I think he throws slower fastball-wise than Manaea. So he's not going to blow anyone away, but they both have similar, I know Davies is a righty, but they have similar, pitching, the way that they go about pitching, their strategy, because they don't blow people away. They have really good location. They hit their spots. Mike, I did see this comment here. He says, taking bets, which pitcher will throw a no-no this year? All of our starters are very capable. Well, look, a no-hitter is really hard to do. So if I had to bet, I'd say no one does it. And while that seems like a dumb take, especially off of the first 2 games of the season, our starting pitchers haven't allowed a hit. Manaea goes 7 innings, no hits. Darvish the night before, 6 innings, no hits. Obviously end up losing that game. But to start the season off not giving up a hit like that, yeah. You could say, Ben, well, yeah, of course someone's going to throw a no-hitter. Look at the start they've got off to. But throwing a no-hitter is really hard. And Snell's not going to do that, right? I think you can check him off. Clevenger, they're definitely going to take him slow, I would think. Manaea, he's thrown a no-hitter before, but I think Bob Melvin is fine with him not throwing 9 innings with the Padres. Just get him 7 innings like he did yesterday, and I think he's fine with that. Because he already has that no-hitter in his career, I don't feel like Melvin has the need to go out and really, allow Manaea to push it, right? because our long goal here is to win a World Series and keep Manaea healthy. So I don't think Melvin's going to, feel the pressure to push Manaea if he is in this situation again this season, however many times he is, because he already has that no-hitter under his belt. I know it's not with the Padres, but it already happened with Melvin as the manager. It already happened. He did that against the Red Sox, I believe. So he just doesn't feel that pressure with Manaea. And then Darvish, maybe. And then Gore, I don't think it would happen if he starts, just because they probably want to build his confidence and, not have him throw too many innings this year. So I feel like Darvish would be the best chance. But it's a good question. Yeah, give your thoughts in the chat. If you had to take a bet, which starter do you think would throw a no-no this year from the Padres? You got Darvish, you got Snell, Musgrove, Clevenger, Nick Martinez, Manaea. Who do you think? Czar asks, so Lamet is the emergency closer. Say Rogers is unavailable. Maybe. I think him and Suarez. I don't think Melvin's a guy that just because Suarez pretty much choked on Thursday, I don't think he's just going to stop going to him. I think maybe not immediately he'll just go back to him, but in like a high leverage situation. But I think at some point you'll see that again this season because it's a long season. You have limited options, and it wouldn't be smart just to give up on a guy after his first major league appearance, in a regular season game. And it was on opening day on the road in a closing situation. That's pretty tough for a guy making his major league debut. And he closed all year last year in Japan, I think. So he has the experience. I think I would still, my gut feeling would be Suarez over Lamet as the emergency closer. But that's just me. All right, let's move on here. So the pitching matchup, like I mentioned, Musgrove and Davies. Moving on to the bullpen here. I'll share my bullpen usage chart that I just put out. Again, for anyone new, I have a bullpen usage chart that I put out there before every game. It lists every reliever on the roster. Every reliever that's on the roster, and then the pitch counts for the last 5 days. Obviously, there's only been 2 days in the season, so that's why you only see 2 dates here. But for April 9th, this is what the bullpen usage chart looks like. So Adams hasn't thrown yet this season. Chris Matt, Guerra, and Steven Wilson, they have not thrown yet this season. Pierce Johnson, I would think, is available. He has a 1-day rest. Lamet only threw 1 pitch yesterday. Stammen's available. Suarez probably available. Wilson available. Tim Hill seems like the only guy that they probably wouldn't want to go to. Rogers can pitch back-to-back nights in a closing situation. So that's what the bullpen situation looks like right now. And so hopefully you guys enjoy seeing this. Again, something that not a ton of, I think, people maybe realize that they wanted. But hopefully I think you guys will want this and are interested in this. So that's the bullpen situation. I would expect Austin Adams to get in today at some point because I think he's going to be a key, because if he just don't hit as many guys as he did last year, and I think he's going to be a real impact reliever for this team. Obviously, you want it to be a lead, so hopefully you see Rogers again back-to-back nights, and you don't see Chris Matt. I think Chris Matt would pitch after Snell tomorrow. I think Snell would be slated to go tomorrow. So probably Chris Matt, you won't see him, but everyone else except Hill is probably available tonight. So that's the bullpen situation. Mike says, hoping Pomerantz gets healthy to help us. Yeah, that would be big. You can't really count on it, though. That's just his history. The contract doesn't look great that Preller gave him. Gil, yeah, I did say on Twitter, was it earlier today, that Gore is pitching, going to make his debut for AAA El Paso today. Mike says he's pitching right now, so we'll see how he's doing. Again, Ryan Weathers, for anyone that doesn't know, Ryan Weathers really struggled in his first start in AAA this year. Gave up, I think, 5 runs. The game, I believe, starts at 5:05 Mountain Time. El Paso against Round Rock. So that is Gore's first spring training start this season. All right, let's move to today's lineups. Padres put theirs out. Diamondbacks put theirs out. All right, starting with the Padres, we got Grish, Beatty making his Padre debut, Manny, Cronenworth, Voit, Hosmer, Nola, Myers, and then Abrams hitting 9th. So Abrams playing back-to-back games, still searching for his first hit. I like him in the 9-hole better than the 8-hole. Anyone that watched the pregame show yesterday, I wasn't really a big fan of Alfaro hitting 9th, and he did get, I remember he got at least 1 hit last night, and that would have helped if he would have had some runners on and he was in the middle of the lineup instead of hitting 9th. But Myers, that's not surprising that he's hitting 8th. He's really struggling out of the gate. He had a hit last night, but he's struck out multiple times already looking. Just doesn't seem really there at the plate right now. Grisham leading off. So back-to-back lefties, and then righty, lefty, right, left, right, right, left. So there's a couple spots there where there's back-to-back righties or lefties. But I think Beatty hitting second is interesting. I mean, looking at initial reaction, when I first saw this lineup, I would have put Beatty farther down in the order. But if you put him farther down in the order, so you're going to have Cronenworth, you're going to hit Cronenworth second, Voit fourth. So you have back-to-back righties there. And then would you go Hosmer, Beatty, and then you'd have back-to-back lefties? Or would you put Beatty down in the 7th hole? So it just gets a little confusing where you put him. So I'm not totally against Beatty hitting lefty. He puts together, hitting second as a left-handed hitter behind Grisham. He puts together pretty good at-bats, and so I'm excited to see if that can continue with the Padres. I know he put together good at-bats, obviously, with the Dodgers, in his first stop in the big leagues. So Beatty's debut, Manny hitting 3rd, Jake hitting 4th. Jake was my Padre pick last night, Padre player that I thought was going to get a hit. And he ended up getting a hit. So I'm 2 for 2 this season so far. And then the Diamondbacks lineup, you got Dalton Varsho, Ketel Marte, David Peralta, Christian Walker, Pavin Smith, Seth Beers in there after that walk-off on Thursday, Geraldo Perdomo, Sergio Alcantara at 3rd, Jose Herrera at catcher hitting 9th. Again, it's not like a blow-you-away lineup. You got some guys filling in for some guys that are already hurt, like Geraldo Perdomo filling in for Nick Ahmed. Herrera's not even the starting catcher, but he's catching tonight. So those are the 2 lineups for tonight. My what to watch for is, so starting with Joe Musgrove, can Joe continue that no-hitter streak for the Padres? Starting pitchers haven't given up a single hit yet. Darvish goes 6 strong to start off the season, and then last night, Manaea 7 innings, no hits, walked 1 guy. So he had a great night last night, and we'll talk about that more on the next episode. Again, these pregame shows aren't episodes of the podcast YouTube show; they're just pregame shows. So they're not uploaded like podcast version. Just because it's such a short turnaround till the game starting, they pretty much become like irrelevant. So this is more of just a live stream, getting people in here, get excited for the game. And some people maybe watch it on replay right before the game. Another what to watch for is Luke Voit against Davies, because Voit, obviously, he swings out of his shoes, and Davies doesn't throw really fast. So this feels like would feel like a slow pitch, like softball pitcher to Voit. And so could we see Voigt's first homer of the season? tonight. I think that might be a good possibility. But also it could be a possibility where he strikes out every time against Davies because he's trying to hit a home run, and then he just swings out of his shoes, and the changeup and hitting his spots, fools with Voit. So it could go one or the other there. Another thing to watch for, Beatty's Padres debut. Abrams looking for his first big league hit, had a couple grounders up the middle, and one was a fielder's choice. One was thrown over to first to get Abrams. But he was great defensively last night. Great play in the ninth. And then props to Hosmer for getting those 2 picks on the other side of things there. But Abrams, that's going to be a big story. Still looking for that first major league hit. Will it be through the 5-5 hole like Tatis's first major league hit was? I know Tatis was in his first game. It was off Mad Bum when Mad Bum was with the Giants. That was in 2019. But let's see where Abrams, if he gets a major league hit, where is it? He almost parked one last night. He almost hit a bomb last night for his first major league hit. That would have been cool. And then another what to watch for me is the David Peralta, Jurickson Profar maybe carryover. I know one guy asked about that in the comments earlier. Both were jawing last night. If anyone didn't see it, both were jawing at each other last night after, I think, Jurickson Profar, where is it? Let me try to find it here. Here it is. So last night, Jurickson Profar hit this extra base hit, and he's trying to go 3, and he ends up getting thrown out. But as he's going to third, or as he's sliding, diving in, whatever you want to call it, he slaps the third baseman's glove, and David Peralta did not like that. So if you missed it, here it is. So that's one of my what to watch for is there any carryover? And we'll get to the D-backs broadcaster, by the way, his comments, which I thought were completely idiotic. But here's the play last night.
Hitting for third base is Profar. Throw. He is out. Just kept going around second, tried to get a couple bases on it, and
see how
thrown out at third base.
See how Peralta did that there?
Get a run out of it, though, take a 3-0 lead. The bunt bid there by hitting for third base.
Yeah.
The Profar throw.
See how Peralta took exception to that. He was kind of with the swipe motion. And so that's some carryover I would look for. Will the Diamondbacks plunk someone? Again, having Davies on the mound isn't the best guy to do that. That's not going to hurt anyone. But will a reliever do it later in the game if it's 8-0 Padres, hopefully, or something like that? So that's something to watch. Will there be anything where Profar's not in the lineup, but will Profar, let's say Peralta's at first, will Profar start yapping at him? Who knows? So I think that's something to watch for. And like I mentioned, here's the Diamondbacks broadcast or post-game show. I forget who this is, but this idiot says to expect that he's excited for it because he thinks that there's going to be like some headhunting going on. This was last night. Here it is. Really? What an idiotic comment, dude. Seriously? You're going to expect head balls happening? Really? Come on. Really floating that out there on television in a post-game show? It seems like you're just salty that your team lost. That feels like. Come on, dude. Yeah, Kwan's right. Yeah. D-back broadcaster got nothing to look forward to. I agree. I mean, my goodness. Why would you even float that out there? It's just such a idiotic comment. Like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, okay, we get it. Profar, if I were the other team, I wouldn't have liked that either, to have Profar be swiping at the glove. But at the same time, like, he took that overboard. Really? And I'll talk about this more on the next episode. Yeah, Davies throwing a helmet ball is not going to do anything. And the Padres have Luke Voigt on their team. He'll just go body slam the other team. I mean, come on. Relax with that, dude. Yeah, if you guys know who that pregame guy is, that guy's pretty idiot. That was an idiotic comment that he made. All right, let's move on to my Padre pick. One guy I think will get a hit today. Last night I picked Cronenworth. I was right. Opening day I picked Hosmer. I was right. And tonight I'll go with Trent Grisham. So I'm 2 for 2 so far. I'm going to go with Grish. Left on right matchup. I believe he got a hit last night after going hitless, I believe, in game 1 out of the 9 hole. But batting leadoff, he's comfortable there. Maybe start off the game. Davies tries to get ahead. Boom. Base hit. And you get that Padre pick right again. Let's see if that happens. So Grisham is my pick. Feel free in the comments. Go ahead. Who you think will get a hit for the Padres tonight? If you had to pick one guy, who do you think that's going to be? Gil says Abrams. That's a nice pick. That's also a left on right matchup. I just like to pick guys more at the top of the order because they're going to get more at-bats and more chances to get that hit. But, yeah, Abrams, I think there's a good chance that he can get his first major league hit tonight. All right, before we get out of here, let's get some major league scores, catch you up a little bit around the league. Phillies are up 4-1 on Oakland in the 8th. Giants are losing to the Marlins in the 7th, 2-1. Yankees on top of the Red Sox, 4-2 in the 7th. I think that game's on FS1. Cleveland and Kansas City still has not scored a run in that game, and they're in the 9th, so that might go to extras. Stanton hit a 2-run homer today after homering yesterday for the Yankees, by the way. I think Rizzo homered again. I mean, Stanton just complete bombs. Yesterday, he had a line drive missile. Today, hanging curveball, it looked like, from Pavetta. He just deposits it into the bleacher seats beyond the Red Sox bullpen in left center field. But other matchups we have tonight, we got the Nats hosting the Mets, Reds at Braves, Dodgers beat the Rockies yesterday. They have their second game of the season tonight at 5:10. Same time the Padres start off. Astros, Angels. Rays beat the Orioles 5-3. White Sox beat the Tigers 5-2. Seattle got a win over Minnesota 4-3. Adam Frazier drove in a run, former Padre. Cardinals beat the Pirates today 6-2. The Cubs beat the Brewers 9-0. There was actually a bench-clearing brawl in that, and I'll pull that up here in a second. Toronto also beat Texas by a score of 4-3. Let me show that kind of bench-clearing situation that happened today between the Brewers and the Cubs. Trying to find it here. All right, here it is. Hold on one second. So McCutchen was beamed. It was a blowout. And Jason Hayward actually, during this, ends up sprinting onto near the first baseline where this kind of scuffle, if you want to call it, happened. So here's this. Bench is clear, if that's what you want to call it.
Hey. Going back in there. And they got him. Okay. Yep. There was some intent there. And Craig Counsell and the rest of the Brewers are starting to unload. And Craig Counsell pointing at Contreras. And here comes everybody. It's Jason Hayward sprinting it from center. Bullpen's empty. And a lot of chatter on that first base line.
Well, you knew it was coming. At some point. It started last year.
See, Lorenzo Kane got mad too. Yeah, so that happened. So that ended up being a blowout. Cubs win 9-0, but that's what people are going to look at after that game. They're not going to care about the game because it was a blowout. But the big game that's happening in terms of the NL West right now, Giants are down 2-1 to the Marlins in the 7th. And then in baseball, just overall, Yankees, Red Sox. Sunday night baseball tomorrow night, a week before the Padres Braves Sunday night baseball game. The Yankees are up 4-2 right now, though, against Boston after Josh Donaldson walked off yesterday. Czar says Phillies look tough. Their offense does, yeah. And I think with Wheeler, Nola, that's a pretty good start. Eflin in their rotation. My question for them is going to be the bullpen and then the defense. Because, what was it, 2020? I think Girardi's first year as their manager. Their bullpen was absolutely terrible, like historic terrible. And so that's going to be a big question for them. They improved it, but will that be enough to contend with the Braves and the Mets? It's one thing to do this against the A's when they don't have anyone on their team. You know, when they trade Chapman and Olsen and Minaya and Bassett. It's another thing to do it against like the Mets and the Braves. So we'll see if they can do it. All right, here's some picks. Padres pick, again, mine is Trent. Lakem agrees with that. Trent single, that's what they have. All right. Mike says Voit goes yard tonight. Hopefully. That was one of my what to watch for. Is just feels like that's like a slow pitch softball thing that's going to happen here with Davies against Voit. But again, it could happen where Voit strikes out every time. Because I know he was struggling a little bit in spring training against that slow curveball type velocity. Oh, Kwan's bold here. Thinks Manny and Voit will go yard tonight. Interesting. If they both go yard, that seems like a pretty good recipe for a win, right? All right, this has been fun. This is the pregame show. Today's Talking Friars pregame show. Ben Fadden, your host. April 9, 2022. First pitch, Padres, Diamondbacks, Musgrove against Davies. You can watch it, Valley Sports San Diego, 97.3 The Fan on the radio, Jesse and Tony. This first pitch is at 5:10 p.m. Pacific time. Again, use that voicemail to give your thoughts. Maybe as this game's going on, after the game, what you thought of the game. And I'll play them on the next episode. 619-335-5770 to give your thoughts. It doesn't just have to be about the game. It could be about Tatis and his seems like accelerated timeline. Maybe he feels better. Any Padre-related stuff. Could be funny stuff. Love having some funny, maybe voicemails that come in. We'll see. But take advantage of it. Give your voice. That's what I'm here for, to give you guys a voice. So, all right, enjoy the game tonight. Ben Fadden signing off. This has been the pregame show.